In this video, we are discussing some of the frequently asked questions on extreme programming. And the first question is, what is the relationship between XP and Scrum? Now, you may get this question in your final exam, and we should always remember that XP and Scrum complement each other. Like how it happens? Because the Scrum is a good project management framework. It is talking about various events and ceremonies and talking about roles and giving you a way of working. Now, it does not help us in implementing or executing the engineering practice. So XP is a bundle of programming practices. Now, we may use some set of these programming practices while we are working with Scrum as a project management framework. A Scrum team may follow test-driven development. A Scrum team should follow continuous integration. They may also follow a pair programming. So, for an exam, do remember they complement each other, and Scrum teams usually follow a good amount of XP practices. Second question. Don't you think a pair programming means lot of effort or a money? Yeah, you may think that two people working on a same machine means we are investing double the cost. Now we should remember the cost is a life cycle cost. It is not a coding cost, but after coding we also have a cost associated with knowledge transfer, maintaining the code, and ensuring that coding rules has been implemented or followed. If you are following pair programming, first thing you are getting is collaboration. Two people are aware about what has been written. So knowledge sharing is happening. Since somebody is watching you, you are also following the coding rules and the design practices which team has agreed on, which makes a code looks like it is done by a one person. It also helps you in doing the parallel designing. Because in the XP we talk about no upfront anticipation of design. The system should be adaptable, and while coding you navigate. The navigator help you to design the system well. So with all these benefits, so remember you are not investing time in designing the code. The design time is also included in the programming because we do design, programming, analysis, coding and testing all together. So if you mix all these things, the benefits of pair programming are more than the cost which we invest into. So from exam point of view, do remember this point, because in an exam you may get a question where the exam is trying to trick you and saying that pair programming is waste of resources. So do keep that point in mind. Now, in XP lifecycle, as I spoke just now, we do analysis, design, code and test simultaneously. Now the third question is, how do we do this simultaneously? What does this mean? We do the analysis, design, code and test all together or all simultaneously. You may remember that we have a diagram which is talking about one angle where we says we plan, and then we talk about a deploy, and in between we says that we do analysis, design, code and test simultaneously. Now, a lot of time I get a question, he says that anything which we have to write, we need to follow an analysis, then we only can design, then we can only code and test. How this can happen in parallel? Now, if you have say 50 line of code, just an example, in XP we don't write the 50 line of code in a one go. We have a discussion. So this 50 line of code maybe is catering or giving you a 3 features. So we analyze the feature 1 at a sufficient detail, and then we write say 5 line of test. Then we do a 5 line of code, and then we refactor. So while writing the test, giving a code, you did some designing. But again, refactoring is again, you are doing designing. And then you repeat this cycle multiple times in an hour. And in between, you keep discussing with your on-site customer. So it is not like that you will capture all the user story related need in a one go. While you are doing this cycle, as I said in my previous video as well, that on-site customer also remain involved when you are doing work in progress. So that is why we say that in XP lifecycle, we do analysis, design, code and test simultaneously, because we have such a small slices of a small requirement, and where we repeat this at a very small duration. Now, another question which I get, is it okay to implement some of the XP practices? Like, for example, if we do a pair programming and continuous integration, can we say that our team is an extreme programming team? The answer is no. If you are following XP, you must implement all primary practices. If you are using selective XP practices, you are not XP team, but you are using some of the XP practices. You may be following Scrum, you may be following any homegrown agile methodology and using XP techniques. Even while doing waterfall development, I find many people following continuous integration and test-driven development. The applicability and acceptance of continuous integration and test-driven development goes beyond methodologies, because it's a pure engineering practice which gives a benefit to the user. Now, another tricky question which I keep getting in my classes: how do we decide is the XP is the right methodology for you, or the Scrum is the right methodology for the team? Now, there is no right and wrong answer. It all depends upon your organization culture, the community you have, the people you have. Can you get on-site customers? Can you get many on-site customers? Or you can only get a one product owner? How the things happens in your organization? For an exam point of view, visualize XP team for relatively simple projects where many people, I'll say 5-10 people, sitting in a one room, co-located and producing output and relying on verbal communication. So if you have those kind of environment, you can use XP. It's difficult to find XP programmers, XP testers in India. So that's why we say that we don't find many XP implementation in our country, but yes, many XP practices get used along with other agile methodologies. So these were the few FAQs which I wanted to discuss in this video.